Lithography is often thought of as an extremely difficult medium. This misconception is further perpetuated by the idea that you only get one chance to correctly draw and etch an image. Often in any medium, imagery needs to be rethought, refined, and reworked to get to the desired final product. In printmaking, this problem is compounded through multiple drawings and layers necessary to produce complex color work. The ability to successfully add to and delete from printing elements in lithography is an essential skill. This video will cover deletions and additions on ball-grained aluminum plates. Deletions can occur at most stages in the process and are only limited by your ability to control the material being removed and to apply a stabilizing etch afterward. Unlike limestone, physical deletions are generally avoided on aluminum plates due to their sensitive tooth and inability to absorb materials. The only physical deletion recommended on plates is spot graining, with silicon carbide or aluminum oxide grit. While effective at removing material, it is difficult to match the manufactured tooth of the plate through spot graining. New marks over the abraded area may look different than those over the unmodified areas of the plate. To spot grain, sprinkle a pinch of 180, 240, and 320 grit, and a little bit of water over the area to be deleted, taking care that there is no water-soluble material in this area which would become prone to smearing. Using a small glass, such as a bottle lid or a flat-bottomed cup, gently work the wet grit into the plate in small circular motions. Wipe up all excess grit and water with a sponge or paper towel to see the effect of spot graining. Chemical deletions are much more suitable for aluminum as they do not affect the tooth of the plate. These deletions are best done after the plate has been etched and a gum mask applied to contain the spread of grease during the deletion process. Chemical deletions are complete deletions and are not usually used to create tones. Begin by masking off any areas that you do not want to delete with clear contact paper, low adhesion painter's tape, or another suitable material, avoiding wrinkles and bubbles. The buffed-in gum and adsorbed gum will protect the non-image area from any tape residue, which would otherwise attract ink. Burnish the masking paper down tightly using a bone folder. Iron oxide can be traced on the plate or contact paper to mark areas to be deleted, if needed. Use a small craft knife to carefully cut through the masking paper, but not into the plate, removing the paper in the areas to be deleted. Burnish the edges of the cutout again to ensure that they are tightly adhered to the plate. Use cotton swabs or rags lightly soaked in lithotripsine to begin removing the image. Be careful not to allow the solvent to creep under the masking paper near the edge. You may find a blotting rather than a wiping motion to be more effective, as well as wiping in from the edges of the exposed area instead of out towards the edges. Once most of the drawing material has been removed, blot with a damp sponge to remove the gum mask in the deletion area. This will allow you to remove the smaller particles of grease that are trapped under the gum. If you are deleting material after the plate has been shellacked or lacquered, you must remove this printing base as well. Follow lithotripsine with stronger, less greasy solvents such as acetone, denatured alcohol, or hancolite to thoroughly remove all remnants of both the drawing and the printing base, again being mindful of the edges of the masking paper. Use a strong etch to burn out any remaining materials. This etch will be too hot to stabilize the plate, but is useful in removing the remaining drawing material or grease and in desensitizing the chemical ghost on the plate. Apply an etch with a pH of 1.5 or below to the deleted areas, and use your brush to scrub the plate gently as you move the etch around. You may need to remove the excess gum and repeat this process a couple of times to remove the entire drawing. When you've completed this deletion etch, remove the excess gum and apply a weak stabilizing etch with a pH of 2.6 for 1 to 2 minutes to re-establish the adsorbed gum layer. Remove your masking paper, then buff in a new gum mask over the entire plate. Additional deletion solvents uniquely available to plates and step limestones include Kodak 231 deletion fluid and thick deletion gel positive. These corrosives delete through all layers on a plate, including gum, drawing material, ink, shellac, lacquer, and the plate itself. As such, these deletion solvents must not sit on the plate for too long, otherwise the tooth will erode and cause dry roll. Apply the material with a cotton swab or brush to the desired area for no longer than 1 minute. Blot with a damp sponge and thoroughly rinse the area to remove the excess material. Repeat if necessary. Follow with a weak stabilizing etch. Chemical deletions can be done without masking paper or a buffed-in gum film, but care should be taken to protect the non-image area from the grease and solvents that are released during the process. Additions always require the removal of both the buffed-in gum arabic and the adsorbed gum layer. This is best accomplished after a plate has been rolled up in ink. Begin by ensuring that your image is fully rolled up and talced. Mix a counter-etch solution of 8 ounces of warm water to 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of powdered citric acid. Both heat and acid will remove the adsorbed gum, but water that is too hot can soften and release ink particles, and too much acid will likewise burn out delicate imagery. Citric acid is a weak acid that will not aggressively attack the image, but is sufficient to remove the adsorb. Place your plate on a surface where you can use plenty of water as you rinse. Remove any excess buffed-in gum with cold water. Make the water lukewarm and use soft paper towels or other disposable materials to massage the entire surface of the plate in a gentle, even pattern for 1 to 2 minutes. Rinse the plate completely and tilt the plate to dump all excess water. Dispose of the paper towel, which should remain clean. If you see any ink on the paper towel, reduce the temperature of your water and avoid scrubbing. Apply your citric acid mixture to the entire surface of the plate and use a new paper towel to massage the surface of the plate for another 1 to 2 minutes. If you see any ink on the paper towel, consider a weaker acid mixture. Rinse thoroughly and dump the excess water to wash away the adsorbed gum layer that is being removed. Repeat the application of counter-etch, massaging, rinsing, and dumping of the plate for a total of 3 to 4 times, using a new paper towel each time. When you begin the counter-etching process, the surface will feel slick. As you begin to remove the adsorbed gum layer, you should feel the paper towel grab the surface more and more, indicating that the counter-etch is working as the original tooth is gradually exposed. After counter-etching, dump the excess water by tilting the plate once more. Using a dry newsprint larger than the plate, quickly blot the surface of the plate. Replace the newsprint after it has absorbed the water for another dry newsprint. Repeat this blotting 1 to 3 more times until the majority of the water has been absorbed. Quickly fan the plate dry. The plate is now open and ready to receive new drawing material. Drawings after a counter-etch should be applied slightly darker or greasier than they were applied before the counter-etch. Your old drawing will only need a 3.0 pH stabilizing etch to re-establish the adsorb, but any new drawing materials will need at least a first and second etch, as per normal etching procedures, to become established on the plate. New materials will also likely need to be etched with slightly less acid to be successful.